Hello, everyone. Very pleased to be here with you today to share a panel with our brilliant experts and ecosystem actors. So, my name is Mustafa Barrow. I'm working at the tech sector development of International Trade Center, and we are supporting the digital entrepreneurship in sub-Saharan Africa. So we are actually in 7 countries supporting tech startups and SMEs to go international. And actually, I'm here today to moderate the panel um, on the barrier of acceleration in French-speaking country and basically in West Africa. So I would like to welcome our dear panelists. And first of all, I would like to welcome the Chief of Innovation Division and Ecosystem Building, Mrs. Karine Vavasseur from LADER. Then I would like also to welcome the CEO of Réseau des Entreprises, the first private multisectorial accelerator program in Senegal, Mr. Rivolala Ratsimandresi. I also would like to welcome Jocelyn Nyaguse. Sorry if not pronounced well. She's storytelling and marketing lead at Startup Bootcamp. And she defined herself as a startup enthusiast with a particular leaning towards social innovation, impact, and entrepreneurship. And last but not least, Mrs. Fatou Sen, Executive Director of at AfricArena. So I will maybe start with you or with Karine, see as well. So actually, the most comfortable will just start, and we'll just start the question which is addressed to all of you. We will start with a round table of presentation of your organization and also the methodology of your acceleration program.
Good morning, everyone. So I'm Fatou from AfricArena, so Executive Director at AfricArena. AfricArena is an organization that has a community of 126 hubs throughout Africa. So what we do at AfricArena is really to work with incubators, accelerators, fab labs, so any organization that is training, coaching entrepreneurs, and we aim to provide them with services and tools to make sure that they have all the skills, all the everything they need to better help their entrepreneurs. So we do that through trainings, trainings that are built for coaches, but also the hubs managers, and trainings we do with different organizations. For example, we worked with LADER with a training bootcamp last year. And we also have a platform that is built for hubs to manage their entrepreneurs. And finally, we have a label, so the label African Hubs, which is which aims to recognize the hubs in the ecosystem, because just we noticed that there are many hubs in the ecosystem, and it's difficult for entrepreneurs, for organizations to know who is who and who is doing what.
Good.
Hi everyone. So I am Jocelyn, and I'm part of the team at Startup Bootcamp AfriTech. And so I think the main purpose we are here on this panel is our francophone factor as well. So we have our campus in partnership with the D Hub and LADER. So our campus is here. We have about 11 startups who are here in our current cohort. So we run an accelerator program that scouts, skills, and scales tech startups from across the continent. Mm-hmm. So we have 11 startups from across Africa trying to experience Senegal and how easy it is for them to actually work from Senegal and build relationships, work with the governments. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that's the core of the work that we're doing.
Okay, that's good.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rivo. I'm the co-founder of the first accelerator dedicated to the SME, small and medium enterprise in Senegal. It's called Rencontre des Entrepreneurs. So you can find the information entrepreneursenegal.com. So our mission is to provide capital, expertise, and networking for the entrepreneur. And I co-founded this company in 2014. We pivoted in 2016 to be really an accelerator. And the tracking record at this time is that we have accelerated 22 entreprises here in Senegal for the total turnover around 2 million euro. One of our activity is to funding for the startup.
Okay.
And a couple of years ago, we closed a deal for one of the one of the best, I think, startup here in this market. It's called l'Africa Mobile. They are specialized for the SMS marketing, and we closed it with the VC Teranga Capital about the seed tour. What that we are, and so we have restructured a venture capital 2 years right now to invest to the SME. And at this time, we have invested in 2 companies. The first company is called Café Touba Choukran. Now, here in Senegal, you know, Café Touba is one of the most popular cafe that people drinks. At this time, we have opened our 4th outlets. We have to open 3 more this year, and next year we have to open 5. And we realized this year our second investment in a restaurant called Health in a Box. So it's a restaurant healthy, and that's it. So I'm really glad to be here and with familiar.
That's far from
friends.
enough.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm really happy to be here, and before maybe introducing that, I just realized how we are involved as women in building our ecosystems. So I really think that, yes, that deserves a round of applause, because we heard that there are not so many women as fund managers and in this funding sphere, but when it comes to building ecosystems, we are there. And I know that the ecosystem building is really important. So there is indeed a really young and bold state agency which was born 4 years ago. It was born from the will of the president himself to make sure that we can have really agile, a really agile agency that can really be there to tackle the specific issues and needs of the entrepreneurs on our market. Because what we notice is that most of people, when you ask them what they want to be now on our market, they reply that they want to be entrepreneurs. And most of them also are already doing entrepreneurship. So what was the issue is that they would not be able to really get access to the proper type of financing they were asking for, especially microloans, for example. But also for those who are really innovative and startups especially, it was really hard to get access to funding. So for this specific target, we have been hosting and building a fund, which is the Innovation Fund. And this Innovation Fund helped us now really investing in startups, but apart from investment, we also do capacity building, which is super important for us, and we also do whatever related to building the ecosystem. So we do it in synergies. I heard that you've mentioned the collaboration with because we collaborate with a lot of actors in the ecosystem, and when we notice that there is one actor missing, one type of need that is not properly addressed, and that locally maybe we don't have everything we need to address this need, then it is where we get to benchmark on other markets and find out which of the partners over there could be helping us to really provide this value on our market. Hence, for example, the partnership with Startup Bootcamp to have this Pan-African acceleration program. So just regarding the figures, we have been supporting so far 160,000 entrepreneurs in Senegal, like sole entrepreneurship, bigger entrepreneurs, and among these entrepreneurs, there are also startups. So those startups, they represent 415 startups that have been assisted. and among them, 230 have been financed. We really focus on early stage financing because, as it was told before by Tijan Dem, we think that this is where we have to really bring much value, but also how can we build the next phase for this entrepreneur to not always stay in seed phase, but go to the next round.
That's awesome. I think it's quite interesting to see how you're covering all the ecosystem and how all of you are targeting different actors from incubators, startups, SMEs, and also ecosystem globally for that there. But what I would like to know, as a pioneers of acceleration in the region, in which context your program was set up, and how are you actually addressing the needs of your targets, of your different targets, basically.
May I start? Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you, ladies. Okay. Just to put in the context, Senegal GPD is around 16 billion, right, dollar, okay, a year. If you look at closely on the GPD, there's a line, about how is the contribution about the startup or the telco on this GPD. When you look at the line, the telco, because there is a major, they just contributed less than 3%. It's like roughly 500 million per year. Mm. This is the reality. So now, this is strategic decision. So what are you going to do? Focusing on the 3% or supporting the 97%? This is how we decided a couple years ago to focus on the small, medium enterprise. It's not like we don't like startup, but it's just a reality. Really, just a reality. That's the first. Second one, in our ecosystem, there's a difference. We make a difference between entrepreneur and in French, we say that auto-entrepreneur. We can translate in English freelancer. At this stage, we have more freelancer than really entrepreneur. This is exactly where we are. So, it's like, I don't like, this is just the reality. And the third one, about the context, most of the companies, I know that they're here, can say, and Fatou as well, because they really did a tremendous good job, what they are doing, because they are trying to build, to reinforce the competency of the structure like we are, okay? And people here in Senegal, and I can speak about the country that I know most. My native country is Madagascar. I know, so I travel. I know Benin, I know Togo, Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire a little bit, but in the Francophone, just a little bit the same. All the entrepreneurs, I think that's been said this morning, we are really, really struggling about the competencies. We are really struggling about the competencies. And this is one of the points why the startup, why the entreprise cannot scale, because there is a lack of competency. All this has been said. We decided to focus, saying that, okay, we are going to support the small, medium enterprise. Quickly, here in Senegal, the category of the enterprise is defined by the law, about the turnover you make. Less than, okay, I think that I'm going to speak in euro. It's most because most of you probably may not be familiar with franc CFA. Roughly less than 50,000 euro per year, you are really very small. Between 50,000 and 150, you are small. And between 150 and 1.5 million, you are medium. And over that, you are big. This is how it is. And what we have seen here in this ecosystem is that the lack of the company between 150 and 1.5. This is really the missing company. Because there are a lot of very small, there's a lot of small, and there is a lack of this company. Voilà, it's a middle, exactly, it's a middle. So our goal is to bring the company from small, because we have a program for 1 year where we support medium enterprise. So we are more focused about the medium. So when company come to see us, saying that, okay, I would like you to help us to scale, we look at the turnover, how much you make. So if they make less than, between, let's say 100,000. If they make less than 100,000, we cannot deal with them because we know that all of we can do is not relating to their position at this time. So our goal is to scale them in order to put them in the middle, right, between 150 and 1.2. Voilà, c'est ça. Now, we have a program for 1 year. What we're going to them, so we doing something which is really different what an accelerator do usually. We do an operational stuff with the entrepreneur. What does it mean? We are 6 partners. We cover, we think, 6 fields. I'm in charge of the finance and the tax, all of the batch number that people doesn't really like. 2 of my partners, they are specialized about the strategy, marketing, and all of this stuff. I have a partner who is a cost killer, and I want a partner who is commercial. And we bring to the entreprise all of these competencies to support them daily basis, for 1 year. That's what we do. And our tracking record at this for the 22 company we have accelerated is that we raise their turnover around 28.6 exactly percent.
Awesome.
This is our tracking record. So this I would say. So I'll let the mic.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so in terms of Startup Bootcamp, we are a global company in that we have multiple Startup Bootcamp programs across the world. But for AfriTech itself, we have accelerated over 40 startups so far since inception in 2017. And the work that we do involves identifying very early stage startups. And once we identify these startups, we scout them first, and then we actually have, last time we had 2,300 applicants. And out of those 2,300 applicants, we choose only 10 or 11 that then join the program. They come, it's a 12-week program. And during that program, we do acceleration, so yes, it's a real accelerator program in that we strive to accelerate these startups in such a short amount of time, but the progress they make is progress that they could have taken maybe a year to do. And for example, we have a Nigerian startup last year that initially didn't even know how to raise funds, but by the time they finished the program, they had raised about 300,000 in a day.
Oh.
Yes, so we equip these founders with the necessary skills, the necessary networks that they need to thrive in the global ecosystem of entrepreneurship. So our support is agnostic as well, so we deal with multiple startups from different sectors, not just fintech. I know everyone is focused on fintech a lot, but yes, so we have ag tech, health tech, currently actually running a program. As I said, our campus is at Dare, and we have 2 Senegalese startups who are currently part of a program, and very promising ones as well. So yeah, I think at the core, that's our track record so far.
That's great. Good job. So maybe I will ask the question differently to you. So actually, how do you help the tech hubs to improve their capacity to create more accelerated startups in different ecosystems?
Okay, so here we're talking about acceleration, and the first thing I wanted to underline is the fact that, like he said, in Francophone countries, you have many small businesses, many entrepreneurs, and usually they go to incubators, not accelerators. And today, accelerators, they do different things at incubators. They're looking for businesses that already went on the market, that have an MVP, that tried their solutions and they know where they're going. And they have different needs. And for us, that's the main, our main focus when we work with all accelerators, because we know that the skills they need to have are different from the incubators. The businesses they're helping have different needs, and usually their focus is like, okay, my entrepreneur, the founder I'm helping really needs investment, and I think we discussed this earlier. Investors in the Francophone countries are focusing on small businesses or really, really big businesses, but we don't see many people investing in those missing companies, like you said. And the second thing they really need is competencies, HR, because they have the size where they need a team, a support team usually to help them scale up their businesses, but they don't have the funding to pay, for example, a CFO, because they are competing with big companies on the ecosystem. So trying to help them how to attract the talents, how to recruit people that receive proposals from big companies, and let them see that, okay, mine is smaller, but in 5 years, in 10 years, you'll be doing something really different. And the third one is access to the market. And on that part, the fact that we have hubs throughout 24 countries, we really organize workshops, push for collaboration between hubs, between different countries, to make sure that they can use their local networks to really help entrepreneurs develop their market, expand their market in the foreign countries. For example, if Rivo tells me that he has an entrepreneur who wants to invest, begin working in Mali or Ivory Coast, we will connect him with a hub that is in Mali or Ivory Coast, which he knows the market and who can help be his local contact for his entrepreneurs on there.
Okay, that's good. Maybe for Karin didn't answer yet. We see LADER is very active on acceleration program recently with a true partnership like Startup Bootcamp or the French Embassy. Actually, what is motivating LADER, and what is the context in which the LADER's wanting to definitely giving a boost to this ecosystem for the acceleration program?
So, as I mentioned, the DARE is really recent. It came on this market 4 years ago. So there was already on the market an historic, and in this history, you can find all of the actors that were there that have been struggling for a very long time, maybe entrepreneurs, ESOs, entrepreneur support organizations, sometimes even some state agencies also that have been providing some support, but because there was not yet that many synergies between ourselves, I think that most of the efforts, everyone was doing on its own was not really demultiplied properly. So when we came on the market, our first step was really to understand what was going on in this ecosystem in particular, because we believe that when you support startups and innovative SMEs, you support those who can really bring scalable and powerful solutions to a wide range of people with really painful issues. So how do we solve like economic and socio-economic issues by providing support to the entrepreneurs who can build great, I would not say great, but meaningful and really dedicated solutions to impact. So that was really for us the main point when we started with this ecosystem building. And what we noticed is that we had all of these actors, we had all of these startups, some of them were already at like more advanced level. They had been also exposed to some other markets like the US or France, and they have been in international programs like Stanford Seeds, etc. And those startups in particular, they were really struggling getting access locally to the type of support they needed, maybe financial, technical assistance, access to opportunities, getting access to market knowledge. When you want to scale, you want to go to other countries, you need to know what happens there. And also networking, who can connect you with who. So all of this was a real need on the market, and where we were trying to find out who was providing a solution for that, we saw that the solutions that were there were not strong enough to really reply properly to the need. So this is where we have been deciding that in our strategy, there will be a real effort on acceleration. How can we first build a pipeline, continue on growing this pipeline of startup at a really early stage, and do it together with all of those who are already doing it and who have been really like sacrificing, I can say, their whole time and social life and to building this pipeline. And how now can we make sure that the next step is there? It's not that you're going to be incubated at one place and when you go out, you're going to be incubated at another place. Because at some point, you have done all of those programs of incubation. You have taken all of the grants you could have been taking. And even the donors at some point, how can we drive them in how they have to structure their strategy? It's not just that they come on board with money and their own agenda. It's that we as actors, we can also set up our own agenda. And for us to be able to do that, we have to communicate first. We have to know who does what. How can we do it better all together? And how can we together now get this money from the donors, get this money from the investors, attract all of them? So I think first you need to really focus on what are the pain points there for the users, but also for your ecosystem. And then fix those issues. And when it's fixed, and that you get really good products that can fix the issues for the users, and a good, let's say, system, like ecosystem, that can really make sure that there is trust for those from the outside and the inside who want to get into this, get skills in the game, I can say. Then you have something is happening. And I think this is where we are now. We see that something is happening at the moment because we have those good entrepreneurs with good products. We have this ecosystem that is now working together more and more. This is also, for example, why we have been able to have a startup act. If it was just one person, one entity coming with a startup act, that wouldn't have worked. It's because the whole ecosystem came together as one to make it happen. So we've been a long time trying to do things by our own, as I said, but at some point, and also because we have seen these other guys coming from other markets, like Cdiscount, like Jumia, like all of them coming, and some of them also had to leave because at the end of the day, they did not really master this market so well. This is where also I think we understood that we need to come together as one. And so now the next step for us is really how can we keep on building this trust, and how can we have all of these people in the room and outside the room understanding that this market in particular is a supermarket to get access to Francophone Africa. I mean, when you come to Senegal, you don't come to Senegal for Senegal itself. It's a small market, we have said that before, but it's a great market to test, learn, grow, and then you just scale through Francophone Africa. So this is really where we should position ourselves and make sure that all of our resources, we can bring them together so that those stakeholders, players we need in our ecosystem coming from the outside and also in the inside, we can onboard them toward this common vision of setting Senegal as a reference regional hub for innovation and tech.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I think to also add on what Karine is talking about, the reason we specifically chose Senegal was mainly because of the Startup Act. We know that it's going to be easy to get it, but also Senegal is a really good testing ground, and I think the startups that we have in our cohorts testify to how it may be difficult initially because of French and all the other barriers that may exist, and obviously it's still very early in the Startup Act for you to immediately be able to get your company set up and everything, but it's a window into Francophone Africa. It is very true that I think if you make it in Senegal, you can make it in any other Francophone country. So it's very interesting that we have also been able to collaborate with the government, which is very rare. for startups. Startups struggle and they fight with the government in most African countries. So having collaborated with the government has been such a special thing. And startups get to do proof of concepts, solving really innovative and pressing issues like health tech and things like that. So it has been quite an eye-opener despite the many barriers, especially the French language. I'm learning, guys, but yeah, the struggle is real.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe Karen would add something.
I just want to add one thing upon that is that, to sum it, the way I see it is, Senegal, you have the best of both worlds. To be really honest, what I mean by the best of both worlds is that you will get access to the type of support you need to better understand the Francophone market, and there is like a bunch of actors here who are really open to sharing their experience, sharing their market knowledge, and to be there to share also their resources, may it be government, private, any type of actors indeed, even entrepreneurs also who can share their own scale up to Francophone Africa, because we have also some of them here who have been scaling up across this region. And the second world, because I mentioned both of the best of both worlds, is also all the struggles and all the hurdles you would have by going through this market. Because when you come here, you will have the language barrier that you have to make sure you can handle, meaning maybe you have, and I believe that that's a personal one, that you have to identify this one person that's going to be joining your team, that can understand this market, that can speak the same language, understand the cultural barriers, so that you can really grow faster on this region. Then you will also have all the struggles with the administrative, the legal, but once you get all of that during your testing phase, then it's really easier to go to the other market and to face some of these issues also. And because you can get access to market knowledge through those who have been through this path, you can also better anticipate what's going to be maybe more specific to some of these other Francophone markets. Because even though we have a lot in common, we still have also some specificities.
Definitely.
But you can find here those people who can share about the specificities so that you better prepare yourself for this scale-up. And this is a supermarket. I mean, ECOWAS, and you take just the Francophone Africa zone in it, it's just great market to tap into.
Definitely. That's awesome. I think we are running out of time, but the subject was about barrier, but you managed to finish it in a positive note, showing that there is a way to overcome all these barriers, and you have doing all of you awesome job with really impact. We can see it, having this type of event with the help of LADER, and you also you with the example of l'Africa Mobile supported to raise funds. Yeah, it was quite interesting. AfricArena, which we know supporting tech hubs in all of Africa. Tech hubs are very meaningful because they are addressing the first problem the entrepreneurs or the startups have at the beginning, which is the incubation. And also Startup Bootcamp, we definitely are welcoming again, and hoping we really have more supporting program and addressing also more startups in our ecosystem. So we will maybe have 2 minutes for the Q&A. If someone would like to ask a question or to me. Oh.
Hello, so it's me again, Serge, a business angel. My question was more like, as at least as a business angel, my main problem is how can I get money out of this country to invest in a holding in Delaware, and what will be the possibility to get my exit money considering the legal framework.
Okay, may I answer to this question?
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Okay. Before answering the question, so let me talk a little about how we restructure our own VC. We have seen a lot of this market, after the acceleration, the entrepreneur, asking us, how we get a funding, we need to pitch, we need to go to the, we need to seek a VC, need to seek a business angel, and so on and so on. And what we have discovered is that, moving the number on Excel, it's just like this. You see what I mean? You put in a spreadsheet on Excel, it's just moving the number in order to do the best valuation as you can. It's not, you see? So what we did, we contacted the LPs. Out of our LPs is only a person. There is no institutional. There is no DFI. So, and then we put a cap minimum, a cap maximum about their investment. The cap minimum is, just to spread out the equity, right? So the minimum is 5,000 euro, and the maximum is 10,000 euro. Why? Because it is still the investment, and we are trying, like the entrepreneur, to see how it is. And I would like to sleep. You see what I mean? Because I had 3 LPs who come in with like 100,000 to put in. I said no, because at this stage we're trying to learn. So once that's been said, what we did, in the chain, there is a lot of stuff in this chain. Okay, you're a business angel, you invest. There should be people who should source, the company, and this is our specialty. We source the company. How that is mean? In this context, there is a lot of company, informal company. There's a lot of potential, but there's a lot of, there's informal. We learn by our experience how to talk with them. We learn by our experience, before there's no income statement, there's no balance sheet, but we know, I don't know why, but we know how much you make in each field, just taking 2 or 3 key points. I know how much they make, and there is a free or not cash flow. You see what I mean? So you need the sourcing. So we can typically this type of event to saying that, okay, our specialty in this chain is to source the company. It depends on how you want. So where do you invest? In the startup, in the in the SME, with kind of SME. But that's just what I like to tell you. So we can talk after to see which field you would like to invest, because we have an opportunity. Typically, right now, we have a woman who is seeking like 500 million, around 1 million euro. He's like to build a GPL. I don't know how to say that in English. Gaz pétrole liquéfié, côté Kaolack. Okay? So she's making very well, but she's seeking the investment. So I told her, getting this money from the bank is just like to kill you. You see what I mean? So, so there's another example as well. So yeah, one guy called me. He's on the egg production. He invests his whole money like around $200,000 $200,000 at this time. So he's seeking another investment, to improve his production. Okay, we can see. You see what I mean? So our job is to get, to source the company, to put them, compliant. You see, saying that, okay, there is no income statement. We can help them to get income statement. We make sure that the entrepreneur is aligned with our